मदज्ञानतिमिरसंहरण शुभकारिणी शरणुवाणी सत्यदीपाङ्कुरज्योतिशारदा सुदिव्यतेजोमयि सरस्वती स्मरामि.
Foreword. My writing is mostly personal, as if I am talking to myself or providing advice and wisdom to myself. Sometimes I act on it and benefit. Sometimes I neglect my own advice and face the consequences. We all have a wise person inside us who gives hints as to what is the best thing to do in a given situation. Whether we take the advice and act on it or ignore it depends on the frame of mind in which we are at that time. We all get opportunities to rebuild our lives. I call these tipping points. These tipping points come in different shapes and sizes. Sometimes it is difficult to identify them as opportunities. Either we use them to get on a positive spiral to rebuild our lives, or go down a negative spiral to make a mess of it. Instead of looking at the opportunity to rebuild, we keep blaming the circumstance and people. Circumstances could be job, education, society, etc. People could be parents, partners, friends, relatives, etc. I wanted to share what I'm doing to rebuild life from a recent tipping point in my life. It has a unique tone of either me talking to myself or talking to you, which is also me. Sometimes I say I, sometimes I say you. It is the same thing. We are all the same human species, going through the same human experience and trying to make the best possible use of it, so that we don't regret at the end of our life that we wasted it. Welcome to the journey. Let us rebuild our lives from eternal wisdom, which is inherent and inbuilt into our human mechanism. Welcome to the infinite possibilities life offers us. Ravi Gurapadi, Chapter 1. Tragedy strikes. It jolts you like none other, shakes your conscience like never before, tremors inside, like no earthquake can cause sorrow so deep. You don't have tears to weep. Now you are ready to accept mortality. Now you are ready to realign to the new reality. It is the nature of life that tragedy strikes us when we are least prepared for it. It could be anything: failing an exam, losing a job, missing an opportunity, financial loss, breakup, divorce, losing a loved one. Let us look closely at these scenarios. Scenario 1. A student who continuously fails an exam and is frustrated that he is not able to pass this exam. This could typically be a 12th grade exam. Scenario 2. An employee who gets fired unexpectedly because of attrition or an altercation with the boss. Scenario 3. Someone has an opportunity for growth, like an important interview, meeting, or presentation, but they miss the opportunity due to ill health, bad weather, family situation, etc. Scenario 4. Someone has financial loss. They lost money in the stock market or bank fraud, they were cheated, someone didn't return their debt, etc. Scenario 5. You broke up with someone who you were in a relationship with for a long time. The emotions are fresh and you don't know how to handle it. Or you are in a divorce battle in courts. The ugliness of making your personal life public. The trauma for the kids, if you have them. The bitterness. The embarrassment and awkwardness with common friends. Scenario 6. You lost a loved one. A parent, partner, spouse, child, friend, someone who you admire and respect very much, etc. The grief, sorrow, and the emotional upheaval associated with it. No scenario is more tragic than the other. It is the most profound experience in that moment for the one going through it. This could be the starting point of our journey on a new path, if we choose to do so. I call them tipping points. Chapter 2: Tipping Point. The point at which a series of small changes or incidents becomes significant enough to cause a larger, more important change. If you take any scenario we discussed in the last chapter, nothing is unexpected except the death of a loved one. All other scenarios have come to the boiling point over a period of time, and this one incident is ready to push you over the tipping point. How to make the tragedy into a tipping point and make a fresh start to our life. That is the content of this book. I have a first-hand experience of several of the scenarios I mentioned earlier, either having gone through them personally or having seen it happen to others close to me. Unless you have wise counsel and are ready to listen and implement, this just passes you by and you fall back into old patterns until the next tragedy strikes. It doesn't matter how many tipping points you missed. The next one is equally potent to take you on a new journey. It is just a matter of awareness, willingness, and readiness. There could be several factors like karmic conditioning that you do not totally have an understanding and control over to be able to use the current tipping point. But we can try to do our best and be more ready when the next tragedy strikes. Let us look at what I mean by karmic conditioning. Karma has become a very popular and universal term, and many people interpret it differently. Some look at it as good karma, bad karma. What they mean is, if a tragedy strikes you, it is because of some bad karma you did. If a fortune strikes you, it is because of good karma. This is a very simplistic interpretation of karma. The way I am using the term karmic conditioning is, we are in the middle of a vast, expanding universe. We don't have a clue where it starts and where it ends. We don't have answers to many questions. Where did I come from? Where will I go after death? Why am I born to these parents? Why am I surrounded by these friends and relationships? Why am I facing these challenges, physically, emotionally, financially? You cannot have logical answers to these questions. We look for a quick answer. So, we either take refuge in religion, philosophy, a guru, or blame it on karma. We never dig deep enough to make sense of it by ourselves. In this book, I have looked at the tipping points and also used my experience of how I use them to get on a new journey, which is much more fulfilling and adventurous. Chapter 3: Comfort Zone. Nomads are nomads. They are the most sane people on earth. No permanent house, no permanent town. Wandering and wandering, scattering and squandering, loitering and chattering. No hankering, but only scampering like all of us. They too came with nothing and take nothing. It's a little too late before we realize this truth, but it's part of their DNA. Nomads are nomads. They are the most sane people on earth. The first enemy on our new journey is not willing to get out of our comfort zone. There's a lot we can learn from nomads who don't own anything but are so happy. What do I mean by comfort zone? Knowingly or unknowingly, we all create our own comfort zones. Most of the time, we are not even aware of it. Some examples. I need my cup of coffee at this time. I need the specific plate in which I eat my meal. I am a morning person. I am a night person. I enjoy gardening. I hate loud music. This person annoys me. I will never do this. I always do it this way. We can go on with many more examples to identify the patterns. Basically, what we are saying is, I am comfortable doing things this way. Any change from that is out of my comfort zone. I am not comfortable with it. Unless you look at each of the patterns closely and analyze them to see if they are helping you or hurting you, you cannot make any change. We also conveniently say, I like this person. I don't like this person. I am comfortable with this person. I am uncomfortable with this person. Let us look at relationships closely. Chapter 4, Relationships. It's a ship. We spend time together, share the joys, share the sorrows, but we don't learn how to swim in the ocean of life. Neither the ship nor you are permanent. Either the ship sinks or you drown. Enjoy the party on the ship, but learn swimming before it's too late. Some relationships we didn't choose, like our parents, siblings, close relatives. But as we grow up, we get to choose our relationships. We get into relationships based on the current need. Whether we accept it or not, all relationships are need-based. In some way, we feel incomplete and expect the other person to fill the void and make us complete. It could be a friend, partner, spouse, neighbor, or relative. The fundamental fault in getting into relationships with this approach, which is bound to get you into trouble, is that you feel incomplete or inadequate by yourself. The first step is to understand and have a holistic relationship with yourself before you get into a relationship with others. Easier said than done. How do we do that? Accept yourself as you are, with all your talents, gifts, faults, idiosyncrasies, quirks. Don't beat yourself up for past mistakes. Don't regret forever. The past is gone forever, never to return. It is only in your memory. Don't be too ambitious and set unrealistic goals. Being absolutely straight with yourself, now you have an honest assessment of who you are and you are okay with it. Now you are ready to get into a relationship with others. Some or most may be need-based, but you are okay with yourself, with all your faults, and are willing to accept the other person for who they are. Now you have a mature relationship, though need-based. Now we are ready to recognize and utilize the opportunity the tipping point offers. Chapter 5. The Hidden Opportunity. Gift of the Moment. Seize it with both hands. Embrace it with passion. Live with compassion. Gift of the moment is there now. Gone in the next moment. What are you waiting for? Let us look more closely at the scenarios we discussed earlier and some typical responses in the current society, and also identify the hidden opportunities. Scenario 1. A student who continuously fails an exam and is frustrated that he is not able to pass this exam. This could typically be a 12th grade exam. Typical response in the current society. Parents start yelling at the student and blaming him for not putting in enough effort and hard work. Comparing them to other students who did well in the exam. The student commits suicide. The student goes into depression. Hidden opportunities. The parents are supportive, empathize with the student, and try to understand the situation. Why is the student failing? Is it a one-time thing? Because of some external situation, like ill health, difficult question paper, lack of preparation due to other reasons. If it is a one-time thing, it is just a matter of taking it in your stride and preparing for the next exam. If the student is failing after several attempts, analyzing the situation without blaming the student. Is it because of lack of skill? Because of lack of interest for the student in this subject? Can we try changing the subjects, or even saying goodbye to traditional schooling and explore other ways to rebuild your life? Failing in one exam doesn't define you. You are a valuable piece of life with the full potential to enjoy the magic of life. Scenario 2. An employee who gets fired unexpectedly because of attrition or an altercation with the boss. Typical response in the current society. Get angry with the boss. Badmouth him. Think or try to hurt him or abuse him in email or phone call. Get into depression and get drained by the negative emotion and let time pass by. and realize the financial implications of it. Hidden opportunities. Sit with yourself or a close friend within the company and understand what went wrong. See if there is a way to get back. If not, sit and do a SWOT analysis: strength, weakness, opportunity, threat, and identify your skills and what you bring to the market. See if your skills are outdated and are no longer valuable in the market. Look at the skills that are currently valuable in the market and sign up to learn them so that you can quickly get back into the market again. If you have been suffering under the boss, think of it as a forced release from bondage from him and a freedom to start your life and career afresh. You cannot avoid the time it takes to get over sorrow, grief, and anger. Give it some time. Vent with close friends and family. Abuse him/her to your heart's content. Get over it and move on. The less time you spend on brooding, the better, but you cannot totally avoid it. Scenario 3. Someone has an opportunity for growth, like an important interview, meeting, or presentation, but they miss the opportunity due to ill health, bad weather, family situation, etc. Typical response in the current society: you are a very unlucky person. Your horoscope is bad. You are always destined to miss opportunities. Hidden opportunities. Don't take someone else's opinion as gospel truth. Life has too large a canvas for you to paint. Just one missed opportunity doesn't mean anything. You have so many examples of people who missed one opportunity and ended up doing something totally different and being very successful. You are worth much more than this one missed opportunity. Leave this opportunity behind and plan afresh to rebuild your life. Scenario 4. Someone has financial loss. They lost money in the stock market or bank fraud. They were cheated. Someone didn't return their debt, etc. Typical response in the current society: you are not good with money, you are careless, you shouldn't trust anyone blindly, etc. Hidden opportunities. Let us look at the worst case scenario. If you are bankrupt and come to zero, what is there to worry about? You have to start afresh. Of course, you have to deal with the practicality of taking care of your bills, etc. Pause, reflect. Come up with a plan with all the stakeholders involved: your family, friends, relatives, sympathizers. This could be a beautiful time to bond with them at a much deeper level than when things are normal. When you are honest and accept the mistake and want to rebuild to come back on your feet, genuine well-wishers will always support you. Some of the most beautiful friendships and relationships that last a lifetime are formed when you are in a difficult time. If you can deal with the worst-case scenario, you can deal with any other minor financial crisis. Scenario 5. You broke up with someone who you were in a relationship with for a long time. The emotions are fresh and you don't know how to handle it. Or you are in a divorce battle in courts. The ugliness of making your personal life public. The trauma for the kids, if you have them. The bitterness. The embarrassment and awkwardness with common friends. Typical response in the current society: if there has been a deep bonding and relationship prior to the decision to break up or have a divorce, it is like you are dealing with death. The death of the other person to you. There could be differences, and there might have been reasons to separate, and it might be the best thing to do in the situation for both of you. But you cannot deny and brush aside the emotional impact on you. Hidden opportunities. Take the time to heal and feel comfortable with yourself. Don't rush into rebound relationships. Without having a good relationship with yourself, you can never be happy in any other relationship. Take care of any immediate responsibilities of children so that their trauma is minimized. No matter what we do with our lives as adults, We do not have any right to make a child suffer because of our fights. It is a no-no. Do your best to minimize the impact on the children and make it a top priority. Spend time in solitude. Look at the priorities of your life and start rebuilding. Don't miss the hidden opportunities by immediately rushing into another relationship. Scenario 6. You lost a loved one, a parent, partner, spouse, child, friend, someone who you admire and respect very much, etc. The grief, sorrow, and the emotional upheaval associated with it. Typical response in the current society. This has been the toughest situation to deal with for me. There is a raw emotion overpowering you. Layers of memories of the person surfacing at regular cycles. The natural response is, why did this happen to me? We start blaming God for being so unjust and unkind. We start blaming ourselves for not having done enough or in a timely manner to save them. We go on a guilt trip. Hidden opportunities. You cannot rush the healing to be any quicker than it naturally takes. It depends on the relationship, the intimacy, and the deep bond you had with that person. Give it time, and once you feel like you are ready to accept the reality and start your life afresh without that person, move on to the next chapter in your life. Once you have identified the opportunities, it is time to rebuild your life. We often blame our parents, bosses, situations. Time to whine is over. It is action time. Once you realize the opportunity and want to rebuild your life, you have to start afresh. Stop blaming, start rebuilding. I call it reparenting, grandparenting, and pampering yourself. Chapter 6. Reparent, grandparent, and pamper. Yourself, start afresh. Be a kid, be a parent, be a grandparent. All in one, reparent yourself. What greater privilege is there in life? Treat yourself like your grandchild. A parent sometimes tries to impose his ambitions and desires on the child. They feel a sense of responsibility to ensure correct behavior, as per societal or cultural norms, to measure up to their peers, other kids, societal approval, etc. But a grandparent is a joy to be with, right? It is a bonus for the grandparents. They don't have the responsibility of the child for her education or career or growth or anything. They just want to pamper them and have a good time with them. That is the reason most children, though they resist the rules set by the parents, would jump with joy when they have to visit their grandparents or spend time with them. There are no rules, they are pampered, appreciated for little things, just a fun time together. There lies the secret to rebuilding. You have come to the tipping point. Use it. Rebuild yourself the right way. Inspiration and motivation from beautiful people around you. Take your time to rebuild your life the way you want it, in spite of the past. Now is a fresh start, a new beginning. What are you in a rush for? We are all going to die one day, no exceptions. We can't take anything with us, no exceptions. Have the best possible experience here and now. Doesn't mean you indulge and party every day and destroy the real possibility of being human. What is the finest possible expression of being human that you can reach? There are so many inspirational people who have set an example by adding so much beauty and joy to the world and left gracefully when it's time. Don't you want to be like them? You don't want to be like any one person in particular, but you could like this quality in one person, a certain aspect in another person. It is okay to copy, it is okay to plagiarize. These people are so simple and beautiful. All you have to do is go and ask them. They will give away their secret recipe to the joy in them. If it helps, use them as inspiration and motivation as you create the roadmap for your future. Not just people. Look at life around you. Trees, birds, even a butterfly has so much to teach. Butterfly starts as bushy, thorny, crawling creature, eating dirt and filth, ends as a beautiful flying angel, tasting the nectar of flowers. What a transformation! It doesn't matter where we are now. It doesn't matter how we are now. The sky is the limit. To fly is our ultimate destiny. What a lesson to learn. Have the patience and courage to go through challenges and come out with flying colors. Pamper yourself. We often take ourselves too seriously. When we are at the tipping point, it is important to relax, take a break, and pamper ourselves and chill out for some time to get away from the seriousness. Pamper yourself like you would pamper your grandchild. Have a conversation with yourself as a grandparent. Enjoy the pampering. Once you feel happy and don't feel the burden of the tragedy, now you are ready to rebuild. Do not to blame anyone for the tragedy or failure. The instant reaction to any tragedy is to blame someone for it. Either this person, that person, or the one above. The buck stops with you. After venting, blaming, whining, crying, after it is all over, you should come to a point of taking responsibility for your life. Stop blaming people, circumstances, God, alignment of the stars, horoscope, destiny, karma, etc. Your life is your business. Deal with it. Now you are ready to rebuild. Chapter 7. Rebuild your life. Stop sharing, pouring and vomiting with the discomfort in your gut and soul. Time to heal in silence and become whole. Stop sharing for a while. Say goodbye to friends with a smile. Time to rebuild in silence. Pause, relax, and redefine your life. Now it is time to rebuild your life brick by brick. Fundamentals of rebuilding. It is a fresh start to your life. The past doesn't define you. You are starting today and building a new future for yourself. You are rebuilding the way you want your life to be. It is no one else's plan, but a blueprint carefully crafted by you and you alone. You could draw inspiration and get motivated by other people, but you are building your life. A fresh, unique, beautiful future for yourself. Every human being is unique, like every leaf of a tree is unique. You bring your own beauty and joy to the world, not someone else's. Another ingredient of the planning is to feel the joy of the journey. Never feel frustration or desperation to achieve a goal. You are laying a roadmap for a beautiful journey to become the best you, the most beautiful you, a refined you who keeps refining every day. Then you are on the right track. A particular goal or milestone could get delayed. That is okay. As long as you put in your sincere effort, that is all that is needed. Enjoy your failures along the way. Enjoy when you fall down, laugh at yourself, pick yourself up, and keep moving forward. Distancing from the past and future. Before you get on this new journey, it is important that you distance yourself from your past, both the failures and successes. You should also distance yourself from the projection into the future while acting in the present. Let us look more closely at how your past and future impact you in the present. Let us say you are working on a task and a thought passes by. You are distracted from the work you are doing and cannot focus. For the sake of analysis, let us classify thoughts into two categories: past thoughts and future thoughts. Past thoughts. They are memories from the past. You enter into the past and start living it all over again and feel the same physical and emotional sensations. Future thoughts. They are projections and imaginations of your mind about what could happen or what you wish should happen in the future. And you start daydreaming about it or become fearful of it. Neither of them have any relevance in the present, but they are distracting you from the work in the present. Let us look at a solution. There is a concept called labeling the thoughts. The basic idea is to label the thoughts as they pass by and set aside a specific time to look at thoughts. Keep a book called a thought book. Create a simple matrix like below on each page and capture by date, and set aside 15 minutes every day before going to bed to look at it and analyze them. In the present, when thoughts bother you, you can talk to your thoughts, label them, and tell them, "You are a past thought, you are a future thought. I recognize you and will get back to you at the allocated time." Past thoughts, memory emotion analysis. Future thoughts, projection emotion analysis. Let us look at an example of how it can be used. Date: September 26th, 2025. Past thoughts, memory emotion. Analysis: loss of a loved one, sadness. There is nothing you can do about it. You have to let go, for their good, and for you to live peacefully. Harsh words used by someone at work. Anger, hate it is over. There is nothing you can do about it. You can try to understand how it happened, why it happened, how to respond to it in future, what action to take about it, etc. Future thoughts, projection, emotion analysis, promotion in job happiness, elation, pride. It has not happened yet, but you are already living the experience. Let it happen when it happens. You just keep doing what you need to do today to make that happen. The market could crash tomorrow because of some geopolitical situation, worry, anxiety, fear. It has not happened yet. If you have to invest wisely or move your money, you can do that. These thoughts may not let you get your focus back on your task immediately, but experiment with it and see. I experimented with this and was not 100% successful. It helped in identifying and labeling the thoughts, but I couldn't stay away from them in the present moment. I devised a variation, which is to have my cell phone next to me and write a message to myself about the future thought and what to do about it. This took care of the future projection and planning, as it is captured and I can use it when needed. But there is nothing much to do with the past except observe, label it, and let go. Another technique that worked for me, a smart way to loosen the grip of past memories, past hurts, angst, and bitterness against people who wronged us or misunderstood us, is pray for them and wish them well. Release them in your mind. Don't look for poetic justice. Let go in your mind, but take whatever action is needed to deal with the situation practically to protect yourself. You don't want to let the things of the past to block you from receiving the blessings of today. You cannot fill a cup with clean and pure water if it is cluttered and poisoned with negative emotion. Sometimes we need help to handle a situation which we cannot resolve on our own. Unnecessary pride blocks us from asking for help. We need humility to know that we need help. We don't want to forget the past, but we want a distance so that we can look at it and use it as needed to be able to repeat successes and to not repeat the mistakes and become wiser. We don't want to not plan for the future, but we want a distance so that we can plan appropriately, but not worry about the result and focus on the present to do what is needed. You have to work with your baggage and slowly create distance. How you do it could vary, but the goal is to distance ourselves from the past and future so that they don't hold you ransom in the present. Use your karma. The conditioned software called karma has two aspects to it: the likes, talents, gifts you enjoy without much effort, the compulsions that pull you down. Try to understand and observe them, either through yoga, meditation, or some other technique, and create a little distance from your thoughts and emotions. Put in more effort into areas in which you are naturally gifted. Pray and surrender to the divine to help you to naturally overcome your negative compulsions without having to forcibly suppress them. Because forcibly suppressing a compulsion could lead to aberrations and might show up in ugly ways at some point where you are unaware. Now, you have created a recipe for a rich and fulfilling life. Chapter 8: Personal Experience. What is personal is also universal. Now, let me share my experience of rebuilding that started recently after a major tipping point in my life. My partner of 34 years passed away, and I was in grief. I was going through emotional upheaval. Sorrow, depression, regret, guilt would be frequent visitors. I started capturing these emotions as poems and started sharing with close friends and family. I saw that it was giving vent to my emotions, and at the same time, I was feeling a wisdom dawning on me about the inevitability of death and the fragility of life. It took 3 months to come out of that state. Then slowly I realized I have to rebuild my life and started to look at the opportunity and the tipping point. Art and music, the magic healers. I always had an ear for music and found relaxation in listening to classical music. Now that I have all the time in the world, I started taking music lessons. I found a good teacher and started from the basics. Music is such a healer. It has such a soothing effect on the soul. I started taking lessons in pottery and art. I noticed that when you are focused on a creative effort, there is a certain joy and creativity that is unleashed within you. There is no time for depression or negativity to enter you. Everyone can learn music and art at any age. It's a myth that not everyone is cut out to learn art or music, and that you have to be gifted to learn it. If you learn from a good teacher who has a good process to teach, you can learn and enjoy it. Good teachers make a science of the art to teach the basics so that anyone can come to a point of enjoying and appreciating art and music at their own level and drink from this elixir. Yoga and meditation. I was lucky to have been trained in yoga and meditation. If you learn from the right source, they can be very supportive for your growth. They help you create the distance between the body and you, the mind and you. This distancing helps you in looking at the things with absolute clarity and make wise choices. Flexible routine. I made a very flexible routine for myself. There are no timelines and work pressure. I could afford it because I am retired from having to work for a living. Morning. Wake up in the morning. Spend time in silence on the bed. Nothing to do in particular, but soak in the silent background for all our action. Take a shower and start the day. Morning sadhana. Music, yoga, and meditation. Have lunch. I cook myself healthy meals, fresh vegetables, fruits, soaked nuts, millets. Rest and nap a little bit. Do some writing if I feel like it. Take care of any chores. Evening, music class, evening. Sadhana, music practice, yoga, and meditation, dinner. Reflect on the day and see if I am a more refined person today than I was yesterday. Reflect on what could be refined for tomorrow, sleep. If you notice, there is no time specified to wake up, eat lunch, go to bed, or do sadhana. When the body feels rested and ready for the day, I wake up. It could be any time and could vary from day to day. For sadhana, let's say, if I have 10 things to practice. On a given day, I might do all 10 practices. Another day, 8. Another day, only 2. Depending on the circumstances that need my attention, I might do so accordingly. The journey, the path, and the direction is set, in alignment with my values and what I want to do with my life. Whether I become a great musician, artist, yogi, or meditator is irrelevant. I give my best every day to what I decided as the most valuable way to spend my time. That is all we got, time on our hands. How we utilize it determines the quality of our life. It is not about achieving any particular goal. That might happen as a consequence of who you are and who you become. If there is a need to set a goal and work towards it, you will do it to the best of your ability. Win or lose, you are okay. Just keep enjoying the journey, and when it's time to say goodbye, continue the journey to an unknown realm. Chapter 9. Your journey is all yours. No one can live your life for you. I just gave an example of what I'm doing with my life. Because I recognized the opportunity and the tipping point life offered me and started rebuilding. Your journey is all yours. No one is responsible for it except you. Your scenario is different, and you have to figure out your path and build a blueprint from where you are to where you want to go. One person's plans will not work for others. You have to do it afresh and do it yourself. It is important that you stay with the truth as you venture on this journey. Chapter 10. Staying with the truth. The new journey you are going to embark on is a very special and sacred one. Crafted by you, designed by you, implemented by you. You are trying to be your best self and express your humanity and explore the divinity within you. What can be more precious and more noble for a human being to do? It is very important that you stay with the truth during this journey. Absolutely straight with yourself. You are rebuilding your life for you, not to feel relevant in the world. Looking for relevance. We are always interested in telling our own stories. We are always interested in trumpeting our own glories. Give room for others to talk. Give space for others to walk. Reduce your footprint. Reduce your ego sprint. Take a step back. Get your life back on track. Being so tiny in this existence. Why look for relevance? Just live and give, be and strive. Let someone else tell your story. Let someone else sing your glory. Good luck and best wishes on this new journey.